What is going on, everybody? It is Dylan with Astrodfs, bringing you a brand new video. Today's video, I'm going over Week 7's XFL odds and just kind of some of my first looks at the odds and early leans that I'm looking at. Last week was terrible for me. Very close. Some of the bets were very close, some not at all. Obviously got burnt on Houston, got burnt on the under, got burnt on Seattle minus 8.5, got burnt on St. Louis and Vegas over. It was bad, but trying to bounce back, trying to have a profited week. So let's get into it. So Seattle on the road against Arlington minus 4.5. The money line is interesting. I like the 4.5, but the money line is interesting in a aspect of finding someone to parlay it with. So a Seattle DC money line parlay, kind of what I like. DraftKings doesn't have the DC Orlando money line in St. Louis and Houston. I imagine it'll be on here shortly, but as of right now, they don't have it. I think it's a very good two-game parlay piece where you could probably get some even odds or probably plus if I had to guess, and just have a very safe bet. You don't have to worry about spreads. You're just both on the money line. So Arlington, I always say Arlington they're a bottom 4 team. They're not a top 4 team. San Antonio plus 3 right now is the next thing that stands out to me. Being on the road against Vegas. The over is honestly something else that I'm looking at right now as well at 37.5. Believe with San Antonio getting Benkert and an actual week of practice with the team, getting that much better, and he gets a very good matchup against Vegas's defense, which has not been good at all this season. But still, San Antonio at you're giving them points against a team like Vegas. I'll take it. Like I said, the over is interesting if San Antonio can put up points, which I think this is a game where they can. They're going to be battling for the rest of the season for that playoff spot with Arlington. And if Seattle takes that, San Antonio has an opportunity. I believe they will own the tiebreaker. If I'm not mistaken, they will own the tiebreaker. But they could tie it up and take over second place after this week. So San Antonio plus 3 and the over is what I'm looking at that game right now. And then later on Saturday is DC at Orlando at minus 9.5. It really irritated me that Seattle didn't cover against Orlando. Obviously, Orlando's offense is improving with Lynch not being the quarterback. I still think that coaching staff in Orlando is just, they're not up to par. They're not a very good coaching staff. I'm trying to put this politely. But that DC team, I said all week what I was looking at in that DC team, which was the most concerning part, is we had not seen DC throw the ball. They ran the ball a majority of the time. That's how they won the game. Their defense is very good. And DC was able to pass the ball against one of the best defenses, if not the best defense in the league. And I think now DC has solidified themselves as the best defense. I think they overtook that first spot clearly. But yeah, DC minus 9.5 against Orlando. That's one that's interesting. I'm not big on a 2-score spread, but I think this is a game where we saw Houston against Orlando. They covered it very easy. We get DC against Orlando, and I think they could cover it pretty easy. And then St. Louis against Houston. I'm liking Houston against St. Louis as a comeback game. Obviously losing 2 in a row. That offense has not looked the same as they previously did. I don't know if it's because Kirkland's not there or what's going on, but that offense hasn't looked the same. McDonald got in the game last night and looked really good. So I don't know what's going to happen with Brandon Silvers, if they're going to go McDonald, what they're going to do. But I like Houston at home against St. Louis. Houston plays very good at home. I'm wondering what the money line odds are going to be for them. if I had to guess, it's somewhere around 145, just like Vegas is. So, definitely looking at that Houston money line. Don't really have something on the total right now. I don't know where to go with the total. I might just take the money line for Houston at the minus 145, minus 150, whatever it'll end up being. And that's kind of where I'm at this week so far. Interesting news, Arlington released Slaughter like right after the game, basically. So that's interesting. That they're going with Plitt. I don't know what other quarterback situation they have. But that one was definitely interesting. I think there's more to it than just performance. I don't think you would really release a guy. You would more bench him and go with Plitt. But yeah, as of right now, St. Louis and Seattle are the only two teams to not make a quarterback change in a way. So Houston had McDonald come in. They've had McDonald come in, but it was the first time you kind of saw Silvers get benched. And McDonald was more than just a mobile quarterback. He was throwing the ball. Got some really good throws in. Orlando, we've clearly seen Lynch gone and Dormandy in. DC runs a 2-quarterback thing, so you can make a debate for DC not having a quarterback change, but we've seen Tiamo be out for King. So I'm going to put that one in. Then Vegas with Huntley and Perez. I'm interested to see who's going to start for Vegas. I think Vegas is in a good situation of having both Perez and Huntley. You have two good options at quarterback. If one is struggling, you could put the other one in. And I think they bring something different to the offense in their own way. San Antonio, obviously going through quarterback changes. Sennett out. Cohen was out last week. Pass got the start. Benkert got in. Benkert didn't look as good, but I mean, for a guy, I'm going to assume that hasn't played. I mean, he hasn't even practiced with the team. He got there on Thursday, so I'm not going to hold that really against him right now. You could say, oh, well, Baker did it. That's true. You can. So you can make that debate. But San Antonio with the quarterback changes, Arlington, Plitt, Slaughter, obviously that. So interested to see of the starting quarterback teams, or starting quarterbacks for San Antonio, Vegas. I would assume Plitt starting for Arlington, but we'll see what they do this week. Obviously, they have the playoff spot right now, but with San Antonio being one game behind them and Arlington having a very tough schedule to end the year, they're going to have a solid quarterback because that team is averaging one offensive touchdown per game. They literally score one touchdown, their offense, and that is it. They need something in order to make the playoffs and actually have a shot at the championship. They need to have offense. They're not going to win it by their defense. Their defense is good. Their defense will keep them in games. Their defense can win them games, and we've seen that, but they will need an offense. So, and then DC, we know the quarterback, Tiamo. King gets in packages. Orlando, I would keep Dormandy in. He's made that offense look better than it has all year. St. Louis, we already know we have McCarron. Houston, we're going to see. I would imagine they go back to Brandon Silvers. I would imagine that. I would not be surprised if they go McDonald, though. But I would imagine they keep Silvers in. He's looked good all year except the last 2 weeks. But maybe those 2 weeks has had enough of an impact. So, hope you guys did enjoy. If you guys want my picks, even though they haven't been good, if you want to fade them, go for it. I will have my Twitter in the description down below, so you guys can go follow me. I usually post all my picks on there before the slate of that day. So hope you guys enjoy. I will have the DFS first look coming out and try to get some other content out there for you guys. So hope you enjoy. I'll see you in the next one.